Hello, everybody. I'm Cheryl Casoni. Joining me for the entire hour today, I've got Tyler Vernon, CEO of Biltmore Capital Advisors, and Ashley Webster with me as well. Our top story, Ben Bernanke and World Central Banks coming to Europe's rescue, lowering the cost of emergency dollar funding. Ward McCarthy, chief financial economist with Jefferies, joins me right now on this continuing stand by. I want to go to Tyler Vernon for a question. This is a markets question to you. This morning, what we saw was a complete deflation of the dollar. Down goes the dollar, up goes the euro. If you look at the S&P futures, huge jump. But does that stay? I think the main question for everybody at home is this a short-term fix, a short-term market rally, or can we bank on what has happened today?
Well, I think this is a great example of what we've seen in the past, and this has been us throwing money at a problem. And I think if there's anything that we have learned, I mean, what we're doing is fixing, in the short term, a liquidity crisis. But the fundamental problems of Europe are still here. The ones that we had yesterday are still here. These problems with the deleveraging and the sovereign crisis. So, in my opinion, this is going to be short-lived. I think investors are using it as an opportunity to sell. We've seen that when we've had these kind of rallies throughout the year, and I think this is no optimism behind this statement this morning. The Dow's up 400 and something points. Can you talk about the downside of this recent move by the Fed and again, the negativity potentially that's out there from this massive amount of stimulus that's being injected?
Well, I don't think there's any downside to what the Fed announced today. They're just simply saying that they're standing by, and if banks need to get dollars in order to be able to fund themselves and address liquidity issues, then the Fed will make it available.
All of this from a stock perspective, we were showing Watson, but you've got the other big names in this space that could eventually, as Ashley was reporting, go after Pfizer, whether it's Eli Lilly or J&J. What do you think?
Well, right now, big pharma is cheap. So I think in general, it's a great place to be. I'd be using these as opportunities to buy in. And I think investors will be pleasantly surprised with Pfizer. I think, it's all the bad news has been out there. This has been built into the stock as far as what's, going on today. The stock's been down. So I wouldn't mind buying that stock here.
Even though the space is up, we were just showing the entire sector. All the stocks are up substantially, but obviously a big piece of it is because of the broader market rally.
And they're still, cheap on a PE standpoint in general. So, we still like the sector as a whole, but that stock, we like.
The analyst community that covers Pfizer, Tyler, they're looking for an earnings per share growth of 2 to 4% for next year. So they actually raised their outlook. You would think it would be the opposite, that they would cut their outlook, and they raised their outlook for Pfizer.
Yeah, we think, again, there's great opportunity. And this is just, again, an example of investors punishing the stock. They see what's going on. The stock is down, and that creates opportunity.
To natural gas. Our next guest says that natural gas is a key part of our long-term energy solution. Russell Croft is Croft Value Fund Manager, and he joins me now. Do you like this name?
We don't cover this much, but I think energy in general, and especially the area that you're talking about, there's a lot of opportunity there. I'd be interested. We were looking at your top 10 holdings, and I didn't really see that many banks in there. As a value investor, a lot of people look at there as being potentially a lot of value in that sector. How do you think about that? Where's your positioning on banks, especially in light of such a big rally today?
Sure. At the Croft Value Fund, we're trying to buy stocks and hold them for a long period of time. And we do think in the financial area there are, a lot of good long-term
American Airlines parent AMR bankrupt. Shareholders likely to get shafted. And employees are picking up the tab. Dennis Neal is here. So much head shaking going on in the studio. You have no idea right now. It does. It's worse than Greece, right, Ashley?
Yeah, it is.
But I'm curious, though. Look, the AMR, they didn't file in the last decade. The airlines, though, did get help after September 11th, Tyler.
Yeah, they got.
I don't know anybody who's ever made money with an airline stock. I mean, any industry. I mean, maybe a traders, they've made money, but we've never owned anything like it. I mean, it's just any industry that relies on government help for the survival is just, pathetic in my book. So, I mean, again, there's great employees there, and I'm glad we have airplanes.
Let's take it back to the markets. Tyler, you say, and you've said this before when you've been on the show, that buy and hold is out, and that it's important for us to be very stock specific in our portfolios. Last time you were here, you liked Lenova. You've talked to me about this before.
Sure.
Stock down just a little bit, but overall, still a winner in your opinion.
Yeah, sure. Well, I would be a little weary after one of the best 3 days since 2009. So, again, I would be waiting, with some of these for somewhat of a pullback because we do think that's coming. But, Lenovo, I mean, they're doing some great things. It's not as well known here, but, in fact, they're one of the top 3 manufacturers of PCs. The industry as a whole has been growing about 0 to 2% over the last year. Their shipments are up 20%, and that's an acceleration from 18% the prior before. They're actually shipping more computers than Dell at this point. Lenovo is looked at the Chinese as the Apple of China. They're expanding into tablets. They're getting into smartphones. And the CEO, he has the majority of his wealth in this company, and he's firing on all cylinders. Some things that are really, I think, going to propel the stock are some of the things that happen around HP. They're stealing market share from HP and their competitors. So I think there's a great value there.
You also like GE, but the stock is down about 20% over the last 6 months. They did spin out the media company that I won't mention. But at the same time, the stock is still down. Is it a buying opportunity now, do you think?
Yeah, this stock has really lost favor. I mean, really over the last 3 years, revenues have been moving down. Margins, though, have been moving up. And I think what you've seen is really a focus on, just like that, that spinoff is a focus on core business assets that generate money. And over the last couple of months and couple of quarters, they've actually been making strategic acquisitions to bolt on to their profit-producing businesses. And I think we're really at a core and at a turnaround in this company. I think what we're going to be seeing is actually revenue growing over the next few quarters instead of shrinking. Margins will stay put. And to us, this is really a growth play at this point instead of a value play.
I used to call it a mutual fund. I remember I used to always say, gee, it looked like a mutual fund to me, Ashley.
Yeah, no, okay. Also, can we get into Apple before we run out of time? Because I know that's one of your picks. Had a huge Black Friday, Black Friday weekend, if you like, generating a lot of sales. It appears the transition from Steve Jobs has gone very well as far as the consumer is concerned.
Yeah.
Still producing the product that everybody wants.
Well, Steve, really, I think he did. I think that's what a great CEO can do is have a company and leave behind an aura of success and new product development. And I think he's done a great job doing that. Like you said, I mean, the sales on Black Friday and Cyber Monday have been phenomenal just going to Apple. I mean, it's an amazing amount that's going there. They're expanding more into China. The carriers, we've gone from 2007, where they're shipping about 270,000 iPhones a quarter, to now 20 million a quarter. And that's really been a result of expanding the carriers to Verizon and AT&T. And they're doing that over in Asia. So there's tremendous opportunity. This boat has not sailed away. I'd be buying it, in the 360s and selling it in the mid 400s.
Tyler Vernon, Ashley Webster, never boring.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I always have fun.